Hello friends, this is Christian Wiese. Today I wanted to talk to you about the sad fact that perhaps we are all addicted to self, that is. But before I start, just a qualifier, of course, what I'm talking about is essentially the art of mindfulness, and that is unlikely to help those who suffer from life-threatening substance abuse or alcoholism. For that we have our experts in the 12-step program. But I would say this, that anybody who has been successfully beating an addiction knows something about the spiritual journey, the spiritual voice within. And in a sense, it's a step ahead of those who still have to awaken to the fact that the body and mind are kind of hardwired into us, and it's not so easy to leave that behind. So the problem statement perhaps should be best called compulsive habits. I'm sure we all have them. Some people work too much. Some people work too little. Some people exercise too much. Some people exercise too little. Some people worry too much. Others are depressed. Some fall in love too easily. Others love porn. The list is endless. Alcoholism, coffee, you name it. So what's going on? Well, part of the problem is that in a sense evolution has installed a reward system and a punishment system that supposedly should help the human race to live and prosper. So at the dawn, or whenever you had access to good food, fatty food, you were likely to survive the winter. When you loved sex, then your children were more likely to get into the gene pool. Whenever you did well in society in whatever measure, you got more resources. So when other people love you, the brain chemicals are on fire, whereas when other people don't, we tend to get depressed. Now spirituality is breaking away from all that, from that internal self-reward system. And that's not that easy. So I thought the best way to describe the opportunities of what we can actually do is described by an acronym BMW, Body, Mind, World. Many people want to be in the driver's seat. They want to use their actions, the body, and their scheming, the mind, in order to get what they want out from the world. And that's kind of the modern world. But spiritual quest is a little different. There we are perhaps more in the back seat, enjoying the ride. The BMW Body, Mind, World is a package deal. That is something that few people understand. As within, so without. So when we actually go within, observe what's going on, if we are able to identify certain interferences and are able to resolve them, then often the world rewards us for that because it's one movie. Likewise, when we do positive things in the world and put our heart and soul into it, also we are able to let go of inner friction. So this is very much interconnected. So in terms of body, certain issues are hardwired into us. We all know the childhood memory, something went wrong in childhood, and some energy centers are then stuck because of that. But also there are likely past life experiences that are wired into us subconsciously. We don't know anything about it, but we feel there's always that resistance in one of those energy centers. Our ancestors, the society we are born in, the present society, expectation of others. Those are all certain interferences that bite themselves into our body, and we have to be able to observe, understand them, embrace them, and then let go of them. That is really a big part of the spiritual quest. Mind, that's something where all the spiritual teachers focus on. Just observe. You are not the thoughts in your head. But I would say to that is easier said or done. Neural networks are pretty much like grooves. What we have done for a long time, it's kind of almost hardwired. It can be overwritten, but it's kind of almost hardwired. So just being able to observe that something is wrong isn't good enough. We also have to be able to break free from that. And that then gets me to action or the world. Often it is just the positive action in a new direction that overrides those existing frictions, that opens up the neural network to something new, something bigger. And perhaps I can share a story here. It's about a middle-aged man who, it's not me, but I guess it could be, a middle-aged man who went to the doctor, and the doctor tells him, look, you're overweight, your eating habits are horrible, all the results have come back bad. If you keep on doing this, then by the time when you retire, you might be dead. So the man was told he had to change, so he thought, well, I could stop snacking while I'm watching television. But he realizes that didn't work. Automatic, the moment he sat down and watched television, he was immediately eating potato chips. So then he came up with the idea, well, I could stop watching television. But then he was bored, so he said, well, why don't I go for a walk with my wife instead in the evening? So they did that. And the first positive change in his life was that he, for the first time, opened up again to his wife and she to him. So they, because of that change, had a much more successful marriage. He also took much more of an interest in the neighborhood because he realized there were some things that he didn't like very much. So he took interest and started working with the local community. So that's, I think, a very good story of how, in a sense, reprogramming is a full-time job, and you just have to venture into the new direction. But while doing so, be mindful of everything: body, mind, world. It's all one package deal. Let me just conclude with a quote. It's out of my new book, Breaking Free. It's from Ram Dass. The universe is made up of experiences that are designed to burn out your attachment, your clinging to pleasure, to pain, to fear, to all of it. And as long as there's a place where you are vulnerable, the universe will find a way to confront you with it. I think that's a perfect conclusion of this talk. In a sense, everything is spiritual, everything in your life. And it is not right to say that all the loving moment is when you're spiritual, and the time when something doesn't work out, when your compulsive habits come back, that's when you're not connected. That's not right. It's a package deal. The time when you are not connected is, in a sense, the world communicating back to you, look, there's still something out of order, deal with it. Life is there to set us free. Thank you very much for listening in. Until next time, bye.